have to set those dream goals, but they need to be realistic enough that you know you can hit them, but they need to be push enough. They need to be out of reach enough that you're going to challenge yourself to get there. Baby girl, it's time. It is absolute time for us to show up and stand up and put ourselves first and get what we need. But that's number one, by understanding how your childhood experiences affect you to this very day. And when it comes to perfectionism, I needed to be perfect because everything else was chaotic. And I learned a long time ago what I can control is myself. I can control me. So if I show up perfect, if I show up excellent, if I show up flawless, then I'm good. And I think it's part of why I'm so driven to this day. And people can see my drivenness as a good thing or a bad thing, right? So it can show up in your life either good or bad. You be the choice. Ask yourself, how is this serving you right now? So another way to overcome perfectionism is to set reasonable push or dream goals, right? When we set goals for ourselves, they always need to have an element of like, okay, I'm gonna have to climb for that one. I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to push for that one. I'm gonna have to, reach and reach, dig in to who I think I am and who I know me to be to reach that goal. But it's not so far gone that you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna set this goal and I'm gonna be a billionaire tomorrow when you haven't even made a million, right? Like we have to be realistic enough about our goals that they are still somewhat out of reach. They're still dreams, but you know in your heart of hearts that you can reach them. And I think that that is super important. And then, the other thing about setting reasonable goals, you don't have to get to the goal right now and tomorrow. So I set dream goals that I might not hit, and I might know that I'm not going to hit them for another 10 years, right? But they're still a goal of mine, but I might not hit it for another 10 years. But I'm not going to set a 10-year goal for myself to reach in a year, because that would be insanity and that would be unrealistic. And then now I'm striving to be perfect, right? I got to do everything exactly right in order to hit this goal, but it's already unreasonable. So we have to set those dream goals, but they need to be realistic enough that you know you can hit them, right? But they need to be push enough. They need to be out of reach enough that you're going to challenge yourself to get there, right? And I love it because I give myself those goals all the time. And I know that with those goals, it's going to take me step by step getting to them, especially when you have a big goal that you are reaching. You can't skip steps. A lot of us want to skip steps, but when we skip steps, that causes us to have to be more perfect and more flawless, because once we get to a step that we're not prepared for, now we don't know what to do. And so we're pushing ourselves to the limits where we don't have to. So take a step back, think about your goals, and really set some realistic steps that are going to get you to the bigger goal. And then the last thing I want you to do is I want you to absolutely embrace imperfections in yourself.